podcast. Jeez. Welcome to Josh and Matt Dynamic Duo with guest star Dan Chester. Whoa. You don't like this intro?
Welcome to Batyard. Josh and Matt Dynamic Duo.
Alright, we're going to be discussing The Mummy Returns. Not the first movie or the third movie that was kind of trash.
Yeah, it was trash. Mummy
Returns, the second movie of this three-movie trilogy.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite movies growing up. You know, I had it on VHS, watched it all the time.
You know what? I never watched it. The funny thing is, I did watch it when it was on we had it on DVD.
Yeah.
My brother ended up putting it on. Remember when Emotap, or whatever his name is, the mummy, they first find him, and all the beetles come out of the freaking ground? Mm-hmm. That scared the shit out of me. Yeah. So I ended up not watching it until later on, like a year or two later.
Yeah, well, we have an interview on Batyard where we interview Mina Elwell, and she says like there's some she was reading Sandman when she was really young. And I said like I used to watch movies like, you know, The Matrix and The Shining. And yeah, The Mummy was one of them, like where there's some seriously horror stuff. Like there was I watched the Sleepy Hollow. There's all sorts of gore.
Oh yeah, there was.
And there was another movie that I was watching, and I was like, what the fuck? Why was I allowed to watch this? And The Mummy is pretty scary.
It's fucked up.
But like as a kid, it didn't faze me. No. I was already exposed to some pretty horrible stuff.
There was some comedy things like in the beginning, like how I was saying, like
it has a kid in there, so it's almost like it
has to be kiddish to some point of the movie. But like it was just like in the beginning, it was like they're digging up these people, and then like they blow a hole of all beetles, and they end up eating the people. That's fucking creepy as hell. I like bugs, but that's too far. I've seen it in Jumanji.
There are these scarabs that come and they just pick everyone clean, right? And
they just eat underneath your skin, all your meat organs and all that shit. They eat all of it. I'm a bug fan. I'm okay with bugs. But I'm not a fan when I start seeing, like I stated in Jumanji, and it's when they go inside your body. That's creepy.
Yeah.
Not okay. Not okay.
Okay.
And these people actually knew it this time. They're screaming. But, what is it? Like, there's a fight scene when they bring back, like, these, soldiers.
Wait. So, yeah, the reason why we're reviewing this is because of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
True.
And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in this movie plays the Scorpion King.
For a few seconds. It's not that long.
Yeah, his total screen time is like less than.
I think at least a minute. Like to me, like it feels like a minute or two.
Depending on most of him is CG.
CGI is like horrible.
He speaks some
Egyptian, and it's like we need to get him. What was that thing? That rose thing.
Oasis.
No. You know how there's that language, that company that teaches you how to speak.
Oh, the Rosetta Stone. We gotta get him Rosetta Stone for ancient Egyptian.
Yes. But it was just like I was back to that thing I was talking about. Like they rise up this army. There's like a part like how I was saying like there's a comedic part, but there's a part when like some guy gets shot and he does sticking his tongue out in the middle of like a thing because he gets like surprised or like something happens to him. He just sets up his tongue like that. And I'm like, what the fuck? These guys are supposed to be like these horrible creatures and everything, but there's a part where he has to do that. Even the part when the guy's on top of he's on the second story of the bus, and he smacked the wall, and you just see a pancake. It's like it's like Looney Tunes.
Yeah, there's definitely some Looney Tunes moments, and I think that like
wasn't it made by Warner Brothers? Maybe we'll look it up.
I think it was New Line Cinema, which was actually the same guys that did Rampage.
Oh really?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh
maybe
my
we're
god!
Wrong. Let us know on.
I'll pop it up somewhere. I'll say yes or no.
We don't have that. We don't have a "you're wrong."
I'll figure it out.
What were you saying?
But like it was just like that stuff. Like I enjoyed it. Still, it was still a funny thing. It was just like this movie is kind of supposed to be a serious, non-serious. Well, it was supposed to be more serious, but like the first one was way serious.
Yeah.
But this one's just like we don't know where we're going. We got a kid now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just see how it goes.
So the basic through line of it is that there's like this bracelet that the Scorpion King has, and that whoever wears the bracelet needs to get back to this temple before like the eclipse or
the
something.
Golden Temple.
And so the son, Rick O'Connor, and Evie Hammond. Not Evie Hammond from V for Vendetta. Evie,
whatever.
Evelyn,
whatever. I'm not a guy that can remember the characters. I can remember details, but I cannot remember character detail. But,
so the son of the two main characters gets the bracelet on and then they have to get to the temple before the eclipse, which is coming like in
the bracelet.
They have a time limit.
The bracelet would like pop up, like he would show you, like it would shoot out the scorpion and everything. It would show you everything, with images and all that stuff. That was awesome.
It was supposed to tell you like where to go in order to get to the place or something.
Yeah, like little pinpoints. Once you hit the next area, it would show you something else.
Yeah.
The next thing. But the thing was, like, the place where you had to take it to, The Rock, he's established as a Scorpion King. He's like, oh, that's like the badass guy, but he ends up going to this bad battle, and he's out in the middle of the desert. He needs water and all that shit, and he's like, calls out to the gods or something like that, and a scorpion comes out of the ground randomly. Looks like that's what he has to do. He ends up eating the scorpion. Once he ate the scorpion, trees, water, things popped out of the ground, and he becomes a Scorpion King god. Yeah,
this oasis grows out of that place, and and I believe that's where like the temple is.
Yeah, the temple's in the center. That's the thing.
And then I think it's like something like he can control the army, the Anubis armies, or something like that. Yeah, the Army of Darkness.
I'm not trying to make a joke, because that's what literally this is. Like, they're shadow creatures. Anubis'
you know what? Speaking of Army of Darkness, there's those like, one of the things I love about this movie and the first movie, when they have the mummies, there's like the CG mummies and they're super skinny, and then they have like dummy mummies that are like skinny too. Yeah. But then they have dudes in costume mummies, and they're dudes in costumes. Yeah. There's like not so much consistency sometimes. No. And they did that a little bit in Evil Dead or Army of Darkness. I don't remember. The one where there's the fight with the skeletons.
Oh yeah, that's the Army of Darkness. Bruce Campbell in the Army of Darkness.
Yeah. Yeah, in that one there's the fights where there's the skeletons, and sometimes they're like skeletons. Yeah. And sometimes that's me holding a skeleton and fighting, Bruce Campbell with it. And then other times it's dudes in costumes, and they don't look like the skeletons. One joke I have with my friend Paul, maybe I shouldn't say the last name. One joke I have with my friend Paul is that the skeletons act better than Tobey Maguire does.
The fuck? But honestly, we just talked about how like the bracelet did everything. We're at the temple. We had to bring the bracelet to, and all that stuff. Like, but. The thing is, in the first movie, the guy ends up dying. The main evil guy Imhotep dies, but he like goes back into the underworld, ooze shit that you got him into. But like, it's just like.
Yeah, and then in this one they find the location
of the old pyramid,
Hamunaptra, where he was buried or something. I remember like watching this right directly after The Mummy, the first one, and being like, what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense, because also Anck-su-namun is alive, and I think she's like a descendant or something. I know that I mentioned Paul's brother has always tried to explain to me how it works, but I'm like, no, this makes no sense. Because it's like a descendant of Anck-su-namun, and they do a ritual where they bring back Imhotep, and you know how in the first Mummy, Imhotep comes back and he's a
decrepit zombie monster,
and then in this one he comes back, and I think he either comes back like mostly fully formed, or he eats one dude and then he's fully formed.
Nope.
No.
No. He comes back as like a monster that's like kind of like how he was, but he kind of had like eyes, I believe. still kicking around. Like he was just more. He was like less he was less decrepit as he was in the first movie, but he was still like, I'm falling apart. Help me.
Yeah,
but like
in the first one, I remember he went around and he like he sucked the life one by one out of all those dudes.
This one he did a trio. He did like a nice trio. He did quadruple something.
He just got them.
He would like
all
these
at once.
It was like remember the guys in the temple in the beginning, someone in the beginning when they find the bracelet, and it was like the 3 screwballs. They ended up getting those three guys to get into a train with him, and they didn't know he was in there, and he ends up just coming off. Like, I think he was up on the ceiling or something like that, and he ends up just like sucking the life. I'm gonna eat your soul moment, and just eats their souls and just kills them, and those 3 were enough to bring him fully back to life. But I have to say, when they do these like things of him coming back, and it's like the neatest things, because you can still like he has like you see like him healing up the holes. Him coming back is always like a cool thing, and like amazes me. Even though it was like
they did a good job.
Early shit, but it was cool.
Yeah, speaking of the CG, in our Rampage review, we talk about how the CG in that is pretty good. This is definitely a movie where the CG is awful. It's one of the worst CG.
Well, it's worse CG, but with the Mummy, to me, it was a good.
The Mummy is good, and I think they had practice from the first movie.
The actual Mummy.
But at the end, there's those pygmies that are, and there's those little tiny monkey mummies.
Oh, the monkey people.
And then there's also the blimp, and the blimp is like
so shitty,
bad. And then there's
it looks like a whoopee cushion that's a deflating.
Yeah, it was bad. And then there's the Scorpion King when he's half scorpion, half rock. It's often cited as one of the worst ones because he's fully CG, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson face, and
it's not like they could have done like half his body in a green suit and just like did everything else, and he's still real. I'll take a centaur style thing than freaking all complete CGI rock.
Yeah, this movie is not a good example of CG.
It's like
that's one of the reasons it feels like lower budget than the first movie too. I don't know if that's true, but I
don't think it was. I think the first one
probably higher budget.
Yeah, I think after the first one it just got a bigger budget.
But it feels low budget.
Yeah, it feels like they didn't. I think it's a different director.
I think it is the same director, but
different director, but.
You got any final words on The Mummy Returns?
The Mummy Returns?
What would you rate it?
I'll rate it at least a good 6.
A good 6?
Yeah.
Wow.
What would you?
Yeah, I feel almost like I probably would have rated it higher if you didn't say 6.
No, really.
But I can feel it being a 6 because I'm a huge fan and I have like the rose-colored glasses when it comes to watching it. And I love the first one. Like I would give the first one 10 out of 10.
I'll give it a decent 8 or 9, but
10 out of 10, man.
Blows it right out of the water.
and so I think I would probably give this one like higher just because it's like.
So you're going for 7?
Sure. Exactly right.
A solid 7.
But it's admittedly not good.
No.
It's not a good movie.
No.
And that's why I.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I'm not gonna analyze that movie just because it's not worth it.
Not at all.
No.
Those damn coyotes.
But if you've seen the first one, you should probably see it and then stop there, right? Like, don't see the third one.
The third one is really like off topic. This is like everybody retired, and like the kids taking on the role, and like it's not even Egyptian mummies. They're in Asia. It's a different fucking mummy, and he's dragon and all this crap. It doesn't make sense. But
and the actress that plays Evie is different.
Oh yeah, different lady.
So just right there, just
stop. But we're gonna end this. So have a good night.
Thank you for watching Batyard's review for.
What?
Thank you for watching Batman's review for.
Batman's review.
Thank you for watching Batyard Productions review of.
The Mummy Returns. Oh.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to say.
See you guys.